Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 5 of Cups. You're someone who is in touch with your emotions. I think that you understand how fleeting emotions are and how the emotions that we experience come as waves, right? And it may be an unpleasant emotion. It washes over us. It's going to wash away again. And another one's going to be following right behind it. It might be a pleasant one or another unpleasant one. But the idea here is that you're not someone that really hangs on to your feelings forever and is just kind of like lingers there and really truly identifies with it, right? I think that you're somebody who's done a lot of emotional work. You're a very sensitive person. You feel what you feel. And you're not going to deny that. You're not going to try to sugarcoat how you feel. You're not going to try to pretend you feel something else. No, it's I feel bad, I feel bad. I feel disappointed, I feel disappointed. Because that is, there's knowledge there. Our emotions are one of our first sort of knowledge bodies. You know, we have our physical body, we have our emotional body. And I think that is, that's very important because when you have these emotional reactions, when something is unpleasant, you want to know it's unpleasant. When something is pleasant, you want to say, okay, I like that. I want more of that, less of that. But if we're trying to deny how we feel, I think we get confused. I think it starts to work on our mind in weird ways, and we end up not knowing what we like and what we dislike. So you're somebody who honors their feelings. And I think that is very important in life. Let's see what's going on with this energy and see how things might be changing for you. Well, we've got a Princess of Wands. Oh, the Lover's card. That is your superpower card. The Lover's card is the major arcana card that rules the sign of Gemini. So this is your power, all right? You've got a Queen of Cups, a 6 of Pentacles, and an 8 of Wands. I think sometimes you're able to use your unpleasant emotions. You're able to use perhaps sadness. Maybe this is even pain. Maybe this is disappointment. Sometimes you're able to use this for motivation. Use that to get fired up, right? This is the pain and the disappointment that causes growth, that leads to an explosion of energy. It's kind of like when you're at the gym and your muscles are so tired and they're hurting and it's terrible. And you use that to somehow fuel just this explosion of, 5 more repetitions or something like that, right? Because of this Princess of Wands. This is that sort of impulsive energy. And I think this is you able to use the unpleasant feelings that we all have, to use those as fuel, to use those to sort of motivate yourself, it's kind of push yourself toward more effort, And I feel like it's important for you to understand your negative and unpleasant emotions in order to realize what success really is going to look like for you. And I think that just going from a 5 to a 6 here, this is the motivation. The 6 of Pentacles is what we want. If you're in a 5 of Pentacles, it means you're not satisfied with what you want, or what you have, rather. There's something that should be here, but it's not. So you're going after it. This is you going after it. And this is that explosion of energy. This is that burst of energy when you feel like you got nothing left. This is that little bit you got. That's your reserve, right? When your tank is empty, this is still another, you're still stepping on that gas and you've got a little bit in there still. So we have to know what success really means and what it's going to look like. And then we have to experience. We have to really feel. Allow yourself to feel that feeling of not having it and thinking, I don't like that feeling, so I'm going to push myself to fix it. I'm going to push myself to get what I want, what I need, accomplish your goals, whatever those goals are. This is the way that you experience that kind of immediate feedback in the world. And it's kind of, we could do the monotonous work day after day after day, not really feeling much, just kind of in that, it's almost boring, right? We're just doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. If we're not feeling anything, then we don't know really how we're doing. If we're doing all this work and we're feeling a disappointment, we're feeling a pain, we're feeling a sadness, that's going to motivate us to keep going, because then we realize that there is a state that we are that we're chasing, If we're in the 5 and we see the 6, it motivates us to get there. Once we get to the 6, it's sort of a reinforcement. It's saying, okay, look, it feels good what you just did. There's that kind of positive reward. Okay? The positive reinforcement here. I think that it's also a negative reinforcement, and we may be utilizing both. Right? The positive reinforcement says that you're getting a you're getting a reaction from the world that's going to motivate you, that feels good, and you're going to keep going. The negative reinforcement is kind of like you're getting a response from the world that does not feel good, and that's going to motivate you to do better, to keep going. Right? So it's motivating in either direction there. And I think with this Lover's card at the bottom, you really have something that means something. You've got a commitment to something that is everything, all right? If there is anything you'd like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Let's finish up with our cards on the path of the serpent, then we'll get into each one individually. I've got a 5 of swords, a 9 of swords, a 4 of wands, and an ace of pentacles. This is a big life change. Okay. I think this is really a reading about how you are using some of the negative or unpleasant experiences in life to get what you want, to achieve your goals. And I think that you have a strong commitment to something, whether it's a career, a talent, a skill, an art form, a relationship, family, friends, whatever it is, a spiritual commitment, whatever your purpose, whatever you're inspired by. You've made the choice to succeed. You've made the choice to be on this path. And I think right now maybe you're getting more of the negative reinforcement than anything. You're getting more moments of sadness, sorrow, disappointment, pain. But that's not making you work any less hard. In fact, it's making you work harder, right? Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. It's going to go right here with Mr. Ed, our tiny horse. Now, we're not going to look at that card till the end. It will tie everything together and give us our confirmation. You have a prediction, put it in the comments. All right, let's do it together. Looking around the room here, interesting the fact that we only have one major arcana energy, and it is your superpower card, the Lover's card. The only thing that Spirit says you need to focus on right now is your commitment, your purpose, your inspiration. The only kind of karmic work for you to do is to stay true to yourself, remember who you are, why you're here. As you experience the unpleasant emotions in life, as you experience some self-doubt, as you learn to push through the challenges of life, right? Kind of push through the pain in a certain way, that you will you will succeed. And I think this is really, really big. I think your entire life is changing. I think when we get up here to the 6 and to that ace, the ace really is saying, okay, look, you've done it. You've leveled up. And sometimes it's darkest before the dawn, right? Sometimes the work gets hard and painful and disappointing, and we're this close to quitting, right? And sometimes it is the worst right before, bang, right before it just blows up and we succeed and we level up. It's a major breakthrough. I think it's a big life change. I think that Ace of Pentacles is you really starting your life on a new level, you know. The ceiling now has become your new floor, and you're standing there, and it's kind of a new path. It's the next level, new level. Okay. So that's our only major arcana. Spirit saying, remember who you are and why you're here. When things get tough, remember who you are and why you're here. When things get disappointing, when things get sad and painful, when you start doubting yourself and questioning what you're doing and why you're doing it, remember who you are and why you're here. We're going up here to this success. We're trying to create the big win. It's gonna change our life, right? So it's going to be challenging. It's going to feel like the worst thing in the world, right? That's how you're going to exceed and break through to that other side. Okay, so I think that you're definitely somebody who feels what they feel, and you're not trying to deny that. You're trying to use that as fuel, right? The Princess of Wands is really instructing you to kind of find that reserve in the gas tank. You know, this is a rage. This is like when you're, I don't know, doing anything. And it's kind of like, you're so close to the end that somehow you just scream and you run even faster, you know? And we don't know where that energy comes from. I think maybe it comes from just seeing that the goal is right there, or it just comes from this place of utter pain and despair that we just kind of rage against it, you know? I can't think of a better example except for, being in sports or someone who's like running or weightlifting or something, and it's like you're absolutely spent and you're hurting, and it's been terrible, but you're there in the gym, and it's just like you just literally like you clench your teeth and you just sort of scream, and you can do 5 or 10 more reps, and then it's just like I don't know, it's just kind of going beast mode a little bit, I think. Okay. And I don't know what you're doing exactly. If this is, it could be, again, a spiritual thing, a relationship thing. You can hear my cat echoing in the hallway. It could be a physical thing. It could be a sport. It could be a skill, a talent, a career thing, whatever it is. And, it's kind of like when we feel that we have nothing left, that's when we have to pull out that little extra. And that's it. That's the name of the game. When we are in such dire straits, when we feel we are in the worst position of our life, when we are in such utter despair, these are the moments that really test us. That's why Spirit says, remember who you are, why you're here, remember what you're made of, remember where you're going. Because if life feels that it is as bad as it will ever get, these are those things, these are those circumstances in life that really test you. And if you can kick some butt even when you're feeling a 9 of swords, well then, you can do anything. If you can function this well even when you're sick and tired and sad and heartbroken or whatever, then you can handle any situation at all in life ever, right? So down beneath the surface, we have this Lover's card. This is your sense of purpose. This is who you are and why you're here. I think you're somebody with a very strong sense of self. I think you're somebody that has made a commitment, that has said, I'm on this path, nothing will stop me, this is what I'm meant to do. I think you're inspired, and I think you're committed, you're devoted, okay, to whatever this is. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a family thing, whether it's just life, right? Whether it's a career or a skill, a talent, maybe you're trying to be, maybe it's a physical fitness thing. Maybe it's creativity, music. Maybe it's, something, I don't know, related to music or acting or whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter. That's the point. The point literally is that it doesn't matter. What matters is how and why you're doing it. Okay? It doesn't matter what you're doing, how and why you're doing it. And I think that you have that sense of commitment, that sense of, this is what I feel the most passionately about. This is what I'm inspired to do. And the way you know you're inspired is that you're willing to do it. You're ready to do it. You're screaming, you're clenching your fists, and you're ready to go, even when you really don't want to do it. Even when the situation in life is not optimal, you still have that commitment. And it may not be easy. It may be tough to sort of muster that inspiration up again, but that's just it. It's easy to do when things are good. It's easy to do when I feel healthy, when my relationships are cool, my family is being nice to me, the weather is good, it's nice, it's perfect temperature outside, nothing's going on bad at work, my friends, everybody's cool, everybody's healthy, like life is good. It's easy to do the right thing. It's easy to continue going to the gym when you feel good, you're not hurt, you like the people there, the weather outside's nice, and the drive to there's no other things going on in your life, at work or at home, the pets are okay, and everything's perfect. It's easy to keep going and doing the gym or whatever it is. But when we experience real life, and we got problems at work, we got problems at home, there's stress here, there's stress there, there's stress everywhere. Perhaps the most stress we've ever felt, that's the real test. Can you still get up and go to the gym? Or do we just abandon everything and do we just say, I quit, I'm done? No, never again, I'm off it. It's a real test, right? So the Queen of Cups in your background, in your recent past, I think there was something that happened recently that kind of, that put you in this Five of Cups position. I think that this might be a relationship with an older female. They might be a water sign person. But I feel like something kind of went down, something to do with them, something emotional, whether that's a family member, maybe there's an injury or an illness with a family member. Maybe someone has passed into spirit recently in your life, okay? If that is the case, you have my sincere condolences. I hope that's not the case. But I feel like there is something very emotional that took place with a close friend or family member. And that's got you in your Five of Cups, okay? And I think that is adding to your stress in life. And it's really Spirit's way of saying that despite that situation, you still got to do what you got to do, okay? We can't use that, and it sounds terrible, we can't use that as an excuse to give up, to quit. Okay. I don't think that this was anything. I don't know. I feel like this person is still with you. I feel like this is a positive relationship that you have. But it could be that this person, I don't feel that there's any kind of anger or hatred or anything between you and this person. I feel like maybe they passed into spirit. Maybe they're ill, right, or injured or something like this, and that's adding a lot of stress on you. Maybe this is somebody that's staying with you, you're taking care of them. Maybe this is just somebody that's kind of getting older and they've got other needs now that you've got to. It's stress. Your relationship with this person is adding stress, but there's a lot of love here. Okay, and despite all of that, despite that stress, you're still finding the motivation and the energy to keep doing what you need to be doing. I don't think this person is involved in that. I think this is talking about the other things in life. And maybe it's not one particular thing or one particular person, but I think that this represents, because it's a queen, And it's a Queen of Cups. It's double water. It represents the real depth, the real range of emotional experience for you. And I think it's really just a lot. It's a lot of emotions, good and bad, right? And despite all of that sort of overwhelming energy, you're finding the motivation to keep doing this, to keep going to work, to keep working on this project, to keep going to the gym or practicing the guitar, whatever you're doing, keep writing the book. Because Six of Pentacles, you're someone that can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're somebody that knows that the success is guaranteed if you create it. If you continue doing the work, you're going to succeed at it, right? You have this belief in yourself that you can do it. If you apply yourself and you work and you push and push and push, it's going to work, okay? I think you're somebody that tends to work well in a group right now. I think like the kind of group setting is good for you. It's almost like we like going to work because we could just get into the zone, we get into the flow. We seem like we're very productive, even when there's a lot of other stuff going on in the personal area, right? Maybe this is kind of like in our main work, we're doing very well. We're receiving a lot of positive feedback, a lot of positive reinforcement there. But in our personal life, it could be that there is stress, that there are relationships that are strained right now. There are things going on. Okay? And I think in some ways this is how we're trying not to let our personal stuff interfere with the work. And when I say work, I don't necessarily mean your job. I mean whatever you're burning calories doing every day. Maybe you're retired. Maybe you're in school. Maybe you're a teenager. It doesn't matter. Whatever your focus is, whatever your purpose in life is right now, we're trying not to let all of these other things interfere with your progress in that area. Okay. Now, in the future position, in the very near future, you're going to experience a surge of this energy here. And this is really fast-moving energy. It's an Eight of Wands. It's called swiftness, right? I think that this is kind of a big, it feels like a big explosion. It kind of feels not like a tower explosion. It feels like fireworks. It feels like kind of the grand finale of a fireworks show, okay? And I think that as much as we are in this despair, but we're pushing hard so much, I think that this is like an unexpected success. I think that this is suddenly, boom, things just happen, you know? And this is kind of what we've been waiting for. And I think you have no idea that this is so close. You're dealing with these things, but you're trying so hard to just keep it going, and then suddenly you make it. Suddenly everything hits, you know? And it kind of catches you off guard. It's a very good problem to have, right? And I think that this, at first, it just seems like it's kind of astonishing because it's like suddenly there's all these fireworks in the air and you're like, what's going on? And you're like, oh, is that for me? You know? And I think that it really is, it's going to create so much joy in your life. But I think right now we're still in that sort of awe. We're still astonished by it. But this is very close for you. Okay, very, very close. And that's going to take us over to the path of the serpent. Now, as I talk about these cards, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, and it helps to support the channel. And I appreciate that. So your general energy is a Five of Swords here. Five of Swords is usually a mental defeat, that we feel that life is kicking our butt, and there's nothing we can do about it, right? This is kind of, it goes hand in hand with the Five of Cups, obviously, right? Thinking and feeling. We're feeling sad or sorrowful or disappointed, or we're feeling some kind of a pain or some kind of a loss or some kind of a strain emotionally, and we're going to feel that strain and that stress intellectually or mentally also. They're really the same thing, okay? Heart and mind usually aren't separated. In our lives, as we experience reality, our heart and our mind are pretty much the same unit. It's the heart-mind, right? We only separate it so that we can sort of differentiate between thinking and feeling, which they're not really separate. If you're feeling mental stress, you're going to have emotional fluctuations too. You're going to have moods. If you're having moods, if you're having emotional stress and strain, you're going to have mental moods, mental stress, confusion or doubt or pessimism and this sort of thing. That really goes hand in hand. But despite all of that fact, I think that you really recognize that by controlling our thoughts the best we can, by saying, okay, I'm going through stress, how can I use this? Instead of all this stress in my life crushing me and I feel the despair of the Nine of Swords and I feel like just saying I'm done with it, throwing in the towel, quitting, how can I use this to sort of rage and push forward with this magical reserve gas, right? And so this really is about controlling our thoughts and not letting the stress get to us in that way. Using it as fuel if we have to. Now, we have obviously a couple of fives here, right? So this is movement. This isn't something that we can just sort of ignore and keep going along our merry way. This is something that is like, it's clear and present stress, and it's not going away. So what we have to do then is just kind of flip the card back on top, flip the card around, put the spirit back on top. Let spirit take the wheel. Remember who we are and why we're here, and tap into that reserve of energy. Okay, we have to direct our thoughts in a positive way, and use it to say that, not even like despite the stress, I'm going to continue working, but because of this stress, I'm going to push even harder. If we're feeling stressed out, we go to the gym, we push ourselves as hard as we can at the gym, kind of makes everything else not feel as bad, It sort of makes everything a little bit better. It's a form of sublimation, okay? Sublimation is not always a good thing because that stress is still going to be there. So we're not really, we're not then seeking out the stress and the negative experiences and those unpleasant emotions because, hey, that is really good fuel for the fire, right? Well, I think positive emotions are also very good fuel for the fire. So we don't want to start leaning into negative experiences in life because we now realize that it can motivate us. You see what I mean? So sublimation is not always good. But in this case, I think that we are, you're somebody that knows the value of positive thinking. You know the value of trying to direct our thoughts in the right way and trying to control ourselves, control our lives, kind of using our thought. If you can, whatever you think about is going to come to pass, right? If you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Wherever your thoughts are going, the body will follow. The body's always listening, okay? And if the mind is listening to the heart, and then the mind starts sort of ruminating on all this negativity, the body's going to start kind of being negative too. The body's going to start falling apart, right? It's the same way that we're around negative people, and then we start to be negative too. It starts to kind of, it gets on us. It starts to, we kind of accumulate some of that residue. And it's like that inside of us too. Once we start thinking negatively, the body is listening. The body is always listening. So we have to take intentional control of our thoughts and think positive thoughts, motivating thoughts, even when life is stressful. Okay? Because the body is listening. Whatever the mind's thinking about, the body's going to go ahead and just build it. Like the body, we're at the potter's wheel, right? Whatever the mind's thinking about, the body's going to create it and say, here you go. And you're going to think, oh, I didn't want this. This is terrible. This is worse, right? And the body's going to be like, sorry, that's what you kept thinking about. I thought that's what you wanted, If we try to just intentionally, positive affirmations, let's do one. If we do positive affirmations, the body's going to just be at the potter's wheel, and the body's going to create that and say, here you go. This is what you wanted. And you're going to be like, heck yeah, thank you, right? There's a lot of power in thinking, the thoughts, the things that we tell ourselves, the affirmations, whatever we are affirming in our minds is going to be our reality. Let's make them positive, right? Let's do a language of flowers. The African violet, spirituality. It's time to connect with what you believe. You believe in you, who you are and why you're here, what you're made of and where you're going. Connect your thoughts with that. Connect your thoughts with your spirituality, and your body will create that, right? That success. And of course, the Nine of Swords in the position of the environment. I think there seems to be a lot of stress in your world right now, and probably a lot of drama. Maybe the holidays coming up, family stuff's going on. It just seems like it's a lot, right? And the first thing that we kind of are willing to sacrifice is, well, those things that I'm doing, my work, my hobbies, my extracurricular stuff, or whatever the sense of purpose is. It's kind of like that. Is that the first thing that we put on hold? Because we have all this stress in our life. It should not be, right? That should not be the first thing we put on hold, is our purpose, is the work that we are meant to be doing here on this plane. But this is, I feel like this is also the idea that to be separated from your purpose is pain itself. It is despair. I don't think you're going to sleep at night if you're not inspired and committed and working as hard as you can toward your life, toward your goals, toward whatever this is, despite all the stress going on around you. I think we're much more capable of dealing with stress when we feel as if we are fulfilling our destiny and we're on the right path for our lives. We know we're going to have stress. We know we're going to lose sleep over things at night. We know that there's going to be problems. There's always going to be something going on, right? But if we have a firm grounding, a firm grounding in ourselves and in our spirituality, we can handle the stress of life. Because we have a sense of purpose. We have a sense of our destiny. We know what we're made of. Okay. Now the Four of Wands in the position of what you don't want. And that to me is a stoppage. To me, that kind of feels like a giving up. It is a Venus in Aries kind of energy. And the way I'm looking at that now is I'm thinking of the goddess Venus and the goddess Mars, right? Or Aries and Aphrodite. And it's sort of, it's war and it's love. And in the mythology, Venus was the only one that could really get Mars to sort of put down the sword, take off the helmet, and relax, you know? And so to me, it's kind of like Mars has this sense of purpose, but there is this Venus energy, this temptation, this seduction that says, I'm going to stop fighting. I'm going to lay down and just let whatever happens happen, you know? And so I'm looking at this card and thinking, this is something that feels so much easier. Going to sleep in your bed, lying down, stopping, quitting, giving up, going home, or staying home, getting back in bed feels so much easier now than putting on the helmet, tying your shoes, picking up your sword or your hammer or whatever it is, and going to work and going and doing the thing, going to the gym, going to the studio, going to your classes or whatever it is. It's so much easier, and the temptation is there to just quit. Just wrap it up and throw it away, right? Just to give in to that temptation of that siren, you know, that siren song that's saying, just come lay down, just quit. It's not worth it. It's too hard, right? Well, that's part of our Five of Swords too. It's part of our mental energy. If our mind keeps entertaining those thoughts, you know, it's like when your alarm clock's going off in the morning and you just keep thinking, oh, it's so cozy warm in here. It's so nice. I could snooze for a few more minutes. Maybe I don't even have to go in today. Maybe I could call in sick. The weather's bad outside anyway, right? We're convincing ourselves to just stay in that cozy warm bed rather than controlling our thoughts and saying the alarm clock went off. Okay, I'm getting up. I'm putting my feet on the ground. I'm opening my eyes. I'm going to get up. I'm going to walk around, use the bathroom, get a drink of water. I'm up. Because otherwise we're seduced by that temptation, that luxury, that pleasure. of just giving up and quitting. It would feel so much better to just get in a hot bath and stay there rather than going outside in the snow and doing whatever you do. You know what I mean? So this is what we do not want. We do not want our strength to be sort of seduced into a slumber, because you're so close to changing your life. Your life, I mean, this is entire life change right here. The new path is opening to you. So of course, the temptation to quit is going to be the strongest just before you level up. The seduction is going to be the strongest right before you make it. Right? Because it's like the evil forces are pulling out all the stops, sending everybody there. It's like a Truman Show kind of thing, right? As soon as Truman is about to realize what's going on and to have proof to himself of what the reality is, then the producer or whatever, the director of the show, sends everybody out there to get him. You know, everybody, do whatever you got to do to stop them from discovering the truth, right? And that's kind of the position that you're in right now. You're so close to leveling up. This is going to be a new life for you. Okay. Let's look at our mystery card. Well, maybe some good water energy. I'd like to see a 6 of Cups. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. I'm thinking 6 of Cups here, but let's see. The Page of Cups. Page of Cups. This is the fish in the percolator. This is about us looking at what is there but shouldn't be. This is about us finding inspiration in the absurd. This is us finding something out here to grab onto that's going to make us keep going. Right? It's something that it could be something very meaningless. It almost feels like a talisman. It almost feels like it's just something that you can sort of fix your eyes on or fix your heart on or hold in your hand that's going to get you up and get you going again. That's going to keep you in this fiery energy. It's a princess, the page, same difference, right? But one's fire, one's cups. So it really is about us finding something that's going to bring out that last bit of reserve gas. Okay? And it's kind of like you see the fish in the percolator, and then suddenly it's just like you're getting up and you're running another mile or whatever it is. It is a kind of motivation, but it feels like it is. It feels like it's some kind of a sign or a synchronicity or some kind of a message from Spirit, right? That gets you up and gets you going again. And this could literally be some kind of a talisman for you. It could be some sort of a power object that you have in your house somewhere. Go find it. You know, and every time you look at it or hold it or rub it or you feel it in your pocket or you're wearing it around your neck or whatever it is, whenever you are in need of that little extra, you connect with that thing. This could be a person, it could be an idea, it could be a word, a phrase, a song. It could be an object, a physical object. Okay, find it. Find it and keep it with you, because this is going to remind you. It's kind of basically just that. It's just an energetic reminder not to go back to sleep right now, not to fall for that seduction, but to push forward because you're almost there. Okay? This is a reminder. Stay awake, right? Stay awake, stay awake, stay awake. Yeah. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Gemini Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.